Welcome back. Next time beyond the season. Powered by Acorn Joinery Leeds. Do you want to kick off with the news round, Cal?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're listening from. Fair bit of transfer and speculation news this week. None so more than Leeds Rhinos. They've obviously made a number of signings. I don't know if Jordan will tell me different, but have they filling somebody else's checkbook in, Jordan? They seem to have made a few signings so far this week.
Well, uh, there were never any discussion on how much Warrington have paid for Bentley or someone else's checkbook. Yeah,
No, we'll go through them in a bit of an order. We'll come to Rhinos and Saints in a bit. The first bit of news is regarding Hull FC hooker Devine Bamford. He has signed with the York Knights on loan for 2026. Again, I think that's something York are doing in terms of trying to pick their numbers up for the new season, and it's probably a chance for him to go out on loan, get some game time. And if he does come back, it's a Hull obviously at earned the right to come back, so that's him to York. A couple of bits of Saints news, Gaz. They've announced the signing of Jacob
Oh,
Douglas
yeah.
from the Wigan Warriors on a 3-year deal. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
I haven't seen a lot of him. I believe he's a good little winger. Rowley likes to use young players, so I think we'll see what happens when the team's together. But with the way Lewis Murphy gets injured a lot, and he's a great player, he's just made a class to poor lad. So I think he's brought in as cover for that with John Bennison going and T. Ritson. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what he does.
He's one of them for a long time if he's a 3-year deal. Another one of them Rowley's ex-players, versatile forward Joe Shorrocks. He's joined to the St Helens on a 1-year deal for the 2026 season. Sorry. Again, some good experience and some numbers that you need, Gaz.
Yeah, I think with it being a year, it might just be bridging a gap because we've got Leon Cohen and Jake Davis, young lads who are on the brink of coming through. They're both back rowers. I think Leon plays in the prop as well. I'm not sure, but it might just bridge a gap for them too. Good cover for injuries. You can play pretty much anywhere in the pack, so got no complaints with that one myself.
And Rolls has had him before at Salford, hadn't he, last season? So he knows a bit about Joe Shorrocks and
Yeah,
what he
he
can
knows
bring
where he's
to
getting.
the table. Yeah, exactly. He knows exactly what he's getting. There was a little bit of news just before we came on to record in terms of Ignatius Parsi. Is he signed for another 1 year, I believe, Gaz?
Unfortunately, yeah, and it's not a knock on him. He's just Father Time's caught up to him big style, and ever since as he has crocked him, he's not been the same. I can live with it if he's fifth choice because you've got Lees, Walmsley, Delaney, and Stevens there. So if he's behind them in the pecking order and he's there for injury cover, I can live with it for now. But other than that,
I mean, a couple of
nothing out of
seasons
him.
ago, it was a bit of an handful. You'd sort of see two or three guys trying to take him and grapple him, wrestle him to the floor to complete a tackle. I mean, he is probably past his best at the moment, but ultimately they see something in him, i.e. a bit of cover like you've just said. So I am sure 1 year deal fits all. Uh, On to the Rhinos, Jordan. Like I said earlier, there's a bit of activity going on in your neck of the woods this week. Ethan O'Neill, he's signed from the Lee Leopards on a 3-year deal. Is he a good fit for the Rhinos?
yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I think he's more or less just a straight swap in it really for Bentley. Uh, it's it's gonna like I say he did well last year for Lee. A bit surprised that he'd leave, to be honest, because obviously Leon on a bit of up at the moment. I don't know if he were not getting a lot of game time. I'm not too sure, but uh, it's it's an exciting prospect for Leeds. Like I say, it's another Super League talent, and it's just like I say. I think at the moment it's just like getting some bodies in because coming toward back at season, we had a few injuries and we had like Cam Smith. He picked up a knock, but we're just struggling to get bodies back towards the end of the season. So if anything, if it just like what Gaz said about Saints, if it just fills gaps and it he's a bench water, he's on bench a little bit and he comes off, it's something. I need to really do some research on him, to be honest. 'Cause I haven't seen a lot of him, so I'm gonna have to do some research on him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's one of them, mate. Looking at a 3-year deal, I mean, obviously they're trying to bolster the squad for the next 2 or 3 years rather than the here and now.
Yeah.
Another one brought in. He was on loan from Salford last season. I think it was second half of the season. Chris Hankinson, good winger. We discussed a couple of weeks ago on the pod regarding Leeds Rhinos youngsters and certain players when they come through miss out. And do you think Chris Hankinson is a good fit, or would you say he's blocking the pathway of a youngster coming through?
Yeah. It were good business end of last season because we struggled with injuries, didn't we? Especially at wingers. We had Riley Lund were out for seemed like he were forever. To be honest, had such a good start to the season and then just completely, had a hamstring injury or as what I think was a hamstring injury, and then Ed Gill were injured, and we just brought him in, especially with like issues obviously Salford had. We got him in and he will cover and he did a good job, to be honest. But at 31-year-old, obviously I know Ryan Hall's, older, which I understand that. But for me, especially with, I mentioned this a few weeks back, didn't I? About Mako Sivo. And, he played in Ashanley Testimonial and he did an ACL and he were out for the complete season. Now, the question mark for me was whether he were going to go back home or whether we were going to throw him a lifeline and be like, right, he's got to start, in my opinion. If he's playing, he's got to start. So that's him and Ryan Hall, your two wingers. And then you talk about your replacements. So Riley Lum, Ed Gill, for me, they're either going to ship off and go to maybe York or something like that, or Bradford and probably get a decent season. Or they stay where they are in squad and maybe get picked. But I don't know where I don't know where Hankinson fits. I'll be honest. I think with a full fit side, I don't know. Like I say, I don't know whether he'd be happy with just being a cover or what. I'm not too sure. It's a bit of an odd one for me. That I would have liked to have seen like a different position, like for example, hooker. I know Daniel Levi were rumoured. I haven't heard else from that. I don't think we need another winger, I'll be honest.
No, I mean, I think the 1-year deal sort of shows you where Brad's thinking's at in terms of the long term. It's probably just a bit of cover for next season.
Yeah.
So that's two of the three signings Rhinos have made sort of this last few days / a week. The next signing, big proc from the North Queensland Cowboys, Jeremiah, big 6'5", big unit prop forward. Keep this question very basic and simple. Arano's missing a bit of size, and does he tick a box for that?
Yeah, 100%. I think I don't think he's as wide as Sam Lasoni. Like he's definitely bigger. I think Leeds have never really had. To be fair, obviously we had Walters who ended up going to Wigan, but we haven't really had tall, big players, to be honest. It's always been maybe a Warrington Catalans that have always been like that. So it's an odd one for us. But apparently he's a decent player. We were saying this last week or a couple of weeks back when we were saying about Super League teams signing NRL players. We don't necessarily know who these are, but they come over and they'll do a job. They probably won't get into Kiwi or Australian, international team, but they'll come over here and I think they'll dominate Super League really. So he's one to watch. I definitely need to see more of him. I think he's maybe a starter, if I'm being honest. By the looks of it, it looks like he might be a starter into the squad. I don't think he's a bench player. I think they've signed him to be, starting 13. So I'm pretty sure he's only 23. If I'm right, I could be wrong, but I think he's 23. So he's still yet to prove himself. I think, and it's probably one of these moves that he's done like a few NRL players, where they've not had a chance in NRL and they're coming over here and they're gonna have a shout and then potentially go back at some point. But he's for what I've seen, he's an extra body. We needed another forward. If I'm being honest, I feel like we could do with a couple more as well.
Stop being greedy.
Stop being greedy.
I was just about to say, Gaz. Obviously Jordan's got his Rhinos cap on, as we all do with our own clubs. But as an outsider looking in, every time we play Rhinos, Lasoni came off the bench and he'd give you a good 10 minutes, and that was sort of him done. Now this Jeremiah is obviously a big unit. He's a lot slimmer than, more athletic than thingy. So I'm not saying he's a straight swap for the big fella, but what I'm trying to get at is, surely they need somebody for bigger minutes rather than a 10-minute impact. What's your sort of take on it, Gaz, from an outsider looking in?
Yeah, it's sort of like a Matty Lees type prop where you can get an hour out of him in the game. Maybe not a straight hour, but like half an hour here, half an hour there, or whatever. Yeah, you do need those players in the modern game. It's like just battering ram prop forwards like it used to be. They do need to be a bit more athletic and do more minutes. So yeah, I think it's that's a kind of like a Matty Lees type of prop forward.
Yeah. Well, I remember when Leeds signed Jamie Peacock from Bradford, and obviously we all know Peacock was a second rower, and we signed him to be number 10, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, watched Peacock all my life through watching rugby. I always knew who he was, and I'm like, why are we putting him at number 10? And obviously it was the best decision they ever made, but that was similar to that. It wasn't a big prop. It was quite slender, wasn't he? He still could, he wasn't slow.
There's quite a utility in that pack though, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was, yeah. And hopefully this guy, Jeremiah, might be a little bit similar, maybe. We'll just see, won't we? But yeah, good things.
Two more pieces of news before we wrap up news round, fellas. Former Warrington Wolves forward Dan Russell, he's signed a 1-year deal with the newcomers of Super League Bradford Bulls. That is subject to international clearance, so he's obviously agreed the deal. They're just waiting for this clearance to come back before he can make it official. Again, that's, Bradford are in the similar boat as Toulouse and York City Knights. They're obviously bolstering squads to try and compete in the top level in 26. Again, there's going to be some good sides to them, so hopefully he can do a job for them. Last piece of news, Hull Kingston Rover, they announced the signing of Tom Whitehead. He's penned a 3-year deal from the Warrington Wolves. He's a young back rower. There was sort of unconfirmed rumours mid-season that he was going to sign for Rovers. And then today he's officially, announced that signing. He's going to have to be some back row to get in Rovers' team at the minute. 3-year deal again tells me it's for the future rather than now, because at the minute there's Batchelor, there's Adley, there's numerous back rows within that squad. Klepitanga nowhere. Obviously, Minchella can play there if need be. So he's probably going to be 5th or 6th in the pecking order in terms of back rowers, Gaz. But you get him into a system what's doing well and winning trophies. Obviously, that'll make him better for the long term.
Yeah, it'll be a good environment for him to go into, like a winning environment, winning mentality. Like you say, you've got Dean Adley there. You can learn a lot from. And obviously James Batcher, who's been in the game a long time, so it'll only benefit him one way or another.
Yeah,
I've got a quick question, Carl, for you.
Yeah.
So it's me mentioning it this week. So being a treble winner.
Oh, for God's sake, he's here again.
Right.
You should have mentioned. We haven't said that, or you should have mentioned was a treble winner.
Good question, right? So,
Right,
as
late to
we're
the
talking
party,
about,
Jordan. Late to the party.
so as we're talking about transfers and stuff like that, right? So obviously, you've won all three trophies this season, Carl, right? And obviously, me and Leeds and Saints are doing some business with players. What do you reckon? Like Rovers' uh, thought process is like going into 2026. Like, do you see weaknesses in the team? Obviously, as we all know, you always strive to improve, and you always improve your squads. And if you don't improve your squads, that's what I mean. An injury, as we know, can ruin your side, sort of thing. Is there anywhere in your team that you feel like you should be concentrating on, improving on? Do you reckon that you find how you are?
No, I reckon obviously we're somewhere near where we need to be, but I reckon it's small tweaks rather than massive changes. I
Yeah.
mean, when Jared Hargreaves hung his boots up after the grand final, straight away you're thinking, right, we need a prop.
Well, yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
they already had Tom Amon in the bag, which was announced sort of mid-season, wasn't it? So he's pretty much a straight swap for him. And then they've signed Jordan Desiree last few weeks, haven't they, from Catalans? I mean, he'll probably be a squad player prop. I don't see him getting in front of Luckley or the guys of them type of caliber. But as a whole, to answer your question, it'll be sort of small tweaks and planning for the next 2, 3, 4 years rather than, 4 or 5 who are going to be in the 13, starting 13 every week. So, yeah, small tweaks rather than big changes.
yeah,
See, this is where we've gone wrong, and I think Leeds did as well because Leeds is still recovering from it. When you're on top and when, like, say, you won 3 in a row, 4 in a row, whatever, you
mm,
sort of rest on your laurels a little bit, and you sort of try and keep the same squad because winning formula.
yeah, yeah,
And now look at us, we're in a complete rebuild, and Leeds have done the same thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I mean,
So,
though, Carl.
so
It's
tell
like
tell your owners to sort it out now.
it's like that, though, Carl. It's a scary position. I mean, it's good, obviously, for you, because obviously you're comfortable in the team, and you've obviously got that chemistry that you don't want to break, and I get that. But in the other sense, it's like if you don't sign any of these big players, like I did expect you to go out and sign a Kiwi or an Aussie to replace Hargreaves. I did expect a big, replacement. So, like, obviously, we know you've got quality wings. You know what I mean? You've got a quality team, obviously. But it's one of those things. It's like Gaz was saying, like when Saints were on top and Leeds were on top, you don't want to change like your starting lineup or whatever. Because obviously it works, but on the other sense, everybody's improving their team because they want to beat you next season. So it's like you standing still with the team you've got. You know what I mean? Is that a danger? Should you really be signing
I wouldn't.
players and
I get your point. I wouldn't say it was a danger, but ultimately, even if Rovers was to make a couple more signings between now and the season, so are all the other 13 teams in Super League, because everybody's striving for the same thing, aren't they?
well,
Everybody's
yeah,
trying to progress and improve every
yeah,
season in, season out. So ultimately, Rovers could be better with some tweaks, but also other you like Warrington, Saints, they'll be also better, and yourself Rhinos.
yeah,
So I think the coach knows, and in every club and every competition knows where the strengths and the weaknesses are in terms of the squad. For me, I just want to see maybe a few more coming through the academy system rather than going out and sort of buying young players from other clubs. But that'll come in the next 4 or 5 years, and imagine with what's going on in and around Craven Park and things like that. So I'm sure the small tweaks will be good, you know, for the here and now, and then obviously in the long run, we'll also reap some rewards at the back end as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so yeah. So as we all know, that's the end of the news round. We're sort of this extra time off season segment that we're trying to promote this next few weeks between now and the start of the new season. We're going to be playing around a little bit, having some guests on, and this week our main topic for that was having a bit of a crack and looking back at the past Super League teams and the dream teams of the Super League era and all that type of thing. And the three of us agreed, didn't we, last week, that we will sort of make our own Super League dream team squad.
Yeah.
It's one of them fellas, in it. You could have had 3 or 4 different squads, and there'd have still been
Yeah.
plenty of quality within them
Oh yeah.
squads. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been such
And still
a
some left out.
difficult. Yeah, I was even looking at it before we came on to start recording and thinking, do I swap him for him and do I bring him in? Do I put him on the bench?
You'll be
Blah
doing it
blah
for that
blah.
one.
So
I'd done mine and left it then.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I did mine and left it 3 times, guys, until last night. So it's difficult, but looking through the 3 squads we've chosen, there's quite a lot of familiar faces within them 3 squads. So all 3 of us can't be wrong in terms of selection, can we?
Yeah, there's going to be the
so
usual suspects between the 3 of us, isn't there?
yeah, of course, yeah, and I think some of them speak for themselves in terms of legends of the Super League era. There'll be probably people listening where they'll say, "Oh, you won't put him in, you won't put in this player in, or you won't put that player in." A lot of them players that people will be thinking of was actually before the Super League started in '96. So, without further ado, I will go through mine, and then I'll pass you on to Gaz and Jordan in that order. So, I went with fullback of Paul Wellens. The 2 wingers was Ryan Hall and Leslie Varnacolo. The 2 centres was Keith Senior and Jamie Lyon. The halves was Danny Maguire and Sean Long. The props was Jimmy Peacock and Adrian Morley. Peacock was my captain because he's a born leader. My hooker was Kieran Cunningham. My back rowers was combined of Gaz Ellis, Paul Sculthorpe, and loose forward was Andy Farrell. My bench was made up of James Graham, James Roby, your man Kevin Sinfield, Sean O'Loughlin, and my 18th man, because he was an absolute outstanding little fella, and we all love him for what he is, was Rob Burrows. Not a bad squad, guys. I mean, I'll let you go on to yours now, and then we'll have a chat to Jordans, and
Yeah,
we'll discuss the reasons we'll put them in.
Yeah, we're in agreements with a few of them there. So, fullback have gone with Paul Wellens. My wingers have gone with Leslie Vanacolo. And this is me trump card here is Josh Chandler, believe it or not. And we'll go into that in a bit.
Well, his tries back it up, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My centres, we're in agreement. Keith Senior and Jamie Lyon. My halfbacks are Kevin Sinfield and Sean Long. Props, James Graham, Adrian Morley. Hooker, James Rober. My back rowers, I've gone with Chris Joyce and Jamie Peacock. And me loose is Paul Sculthorpe. My captain, I'm going to have a Sinfield. And Roby as vice captain. My bench, I've got Rob Burrow. Again, I'll explain why he's there. Andy Farrell, Barry McDermott, and Stuart Fielden. And my 18th man is Stephen Ratchford.
Decent.
Jordan's favourite utility player there, I see, with in terms of Stephen Ratchford.
Well, mine have. There were a few fullbacks. Don't get me wrong. I've gone with Chris Radlinski as my number 1. I've gone with 2 wingers, Vine Colo and Ryan Hall. My 2 centres, I've gone with Gary Connolly and Keith Senior.
Traitor.
Number 6, I've gone Daniel Maguire, Sean Long. 8, my props have gone Graham and Peacock. Peacock, my vice captain. Roby is my hooker. And then my 2 second rowers have gone Lee Gilmore and Gareth Ellis. And my captain is none other than Kevin Sinfield. My bench, me, the God, little man, Rob Burrow, impact player off the bench, as always. JJB, Stuart Fielden. I went for a bit of a trump card here, and I thought this team I've built is roughly like if we were playing like an NRL All Stars. This would be decent. So I've gone Paliacina.
The Rhino.
Big body him.
And then my 18th man, I've gone Callum Watkins.
Right, so there is one player that we've all agreed on in a position, that's Sean Long at 7. Which I've made a note of just now.
Yeah.
Who was your other half, Gaz? Danny Maguire and Sean Long?
Sinfield at 6.
Oh, you went Sinfield. Yeah, you went Sinfield, didn't you? Yeah, as good as, that's for sure. I mean, there's some absolute legends of the Super League era in that team. I mean, if you had to pick one Gaz out of your full 13 to be your sort of best player of the Super League era, not just in attack, in defence as well, who would it be and why?
Easier than you think. It's been my man, Mr. Rober. Mr. Consistent. A nine out of 10 was a bad game for him. Very professional. Took it seriously on the pitch. After the final whistle, got changed and went home and didn't think about it. That to me just is everything.
Yeah. What about you, Jordan? Who was your sort of best player of the Super League or be and why?
There's a lot. There's a lot in there. Danny Maguire, Kevin Sinfield, 100% there. But I'm actually going with Rob Burrow.
Good shot, still.
The guy who were literally told as a young lad that he was too small, he couldn't play rugby, he wasn't going to last, he was too brittle, and the career he had.
Did it at the highest level.
Yeah, constantly put down about his size, and look how good he was. I mean, stats and everything.
Killed me.
He almost revolutionised the game of rugby league with his size.
Yeah,
because you're seeing smaller halfbacks in there now.
Yeah,
who's a kid at Warrington? He's about 3'2".
There were Burrow.
Sean Long's not a big fella.
What's Huddersfield coach? Robinson,
yeah.
Robinson, he's quite small, isn't he? I know Stacey Jones when he come over and played for Catalans. He was small, and also there's a couple. Obviously, Jez Litton ain't big, is he?
Yeah. Again, it's become an athletic position now. The number 9.
Yeah.
I think Rob's, Rob Burrows, he set that trend, didn't he? Just at the right time and sort of proven that regardless of your size, as long as your heart's big enough and you play the game tough, it doesn't matter how physically big you are. And obviously, he's left a legacy that a lot of others are following, and credit to him. I mean, I know I picked him as an 18th man in my squad, but in terms of inspiration, I think we can all agree that he's the most inspirational player that sort of known to play the game, especially in the Super League.
We've all got him on the bench. We've all got him on the bench.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right, so I can make a note of that as him being our main impact player.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I mean, you could go through every one of them players we've picked in terms of our squad, and you could give a reason why they're there, couldn't you? But we'd literally be sat here all night because those, they'd be that good and there'd be that much sort of things to talk about in terms of them individuals. I mean, if there's anybody listening, which I'm no doubt there will be, if you want to drop us a comment or even a team of your Super League that you'd like to give us your 18. Do you agree with our selections? There's no right and no wrong answers, but we'd certainly love to hear from the viewers and the fans of the podcast and get everybody's views in terms of that. I mean, there's some absolute legends within them 3 squads, like I've just said. So yeah, that was our bit of fun.
The question is, can we all agree on an 18 now?
Oh, I
actually think so.
Yeah.
They're not actually a million miles different, and I'll be honest, it's quite weird, really. We could have picked anyone.
I think there's only 3 or 4 anyway. 3 or 4 players difference looking back at that list. Them lists, sorry. I mean,
so the number one's either Wellens or Radzinski.
Well, this is how I kind of see it. It's 2-on-1. It's kind of how it is. So obviously, I've gone Radzinski because I like Radzinski. I thought obviously Wellens and Radzinski are both quality players, but yeah, I probably would say Wellens. Yeah, if we're all agreeing on that, I'd say Wellens.
I will concede Reinhold to the wing. I can live with that. I can live with Reinhold there, obviously.
So we probably got Vainicolo, Reinhold, Jamie Lyon, Keith Senior.
I think
I've got Senior in mind as well. Yeah.
The only reason I didn't pick Jamie Lyon, which I actually did state of the week, I actually was going to put him in, The only reason I didn't put him in is because Gary Conley, he's got so many more appearances. He's got obviously more tries. Jim Lyon only won in there Saints for like, what, a year? And obviously I know he would.
2 years, but he won a
Yes.
treble in his first year.
No, I know.
And a double in his second.
I probably would have changed it, to be honest.
So we got the World Club Challenge as well. So we got 6 trophies in 2 years.
Yeah. A great kicker and all, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, one of the best.
Yeah.
What was one of the biggest things I looked at was when I was researching sort of how many trophies each player had in the cabinet. And I know that's not the be and end all, but that is a massive factor on how good of a player and how people think highly of you. So I sort of went with the man, the professional, and then obviously the trophies they'd won. So what sort of my thinking was behind. I mean, going into the arts, Gaz. Yeah, me and you went for.
Who do we have for 3 and 4, by the way? Who do we agree on? Is it Lyon and Senior?
Yeah, Lyon and Senior, I think we agree on.
Lyon and Senior, yeah. It'd have to be Maguire Long, wouldn't it, surely?
Yeah, I can live with that.
It's thing, you see, obviously I'd have Burrow at 7, but I wouldn't put Long on bench. So I'd do it as that, you know what I mean? So Long starting at 7 and then Burrow'd probably coming off my team. He'd come on interchange with Roby or he'd go into half-back role. But yeah, Long for me starting. Maguire and Long, 100%.
Yeah, I'll take Maguire.
Right, if that's the case, then I'll agree with that. But what I will do is, I think you two, before we get onto the props, I think you two boys said Roby. So as much as I always love Kieran Cunningham, I will submit, and I think we can all agree that James Roby plays 9.
I think Roby's overtaken him though by a fair bit as well.
Yeah. He were almost like the apprentice, wasn't he, of Cunningham?
Yeah. Well, Roby actually started as an halfback.
Oh, yeah, didn't he? Yeah. And I think he's got above him on it, clearly.
Oh, yeah. Put a statue of him outside as well now.
Yeah.
Instead of the Jack
spaces
Black.
for all them statues, Gaz.
I know, but we've got a statue of Jack Black. It's not Kieran Cunningham, it's Jack Black. I'm telling you now, have a look at it. It's Jack Black.
I'll be researching that. I don't know. So I think prop wise, the two of us say Adrian Morley. So I think he's pretty much in there, isn't he? Who was the other one? Who was the other prop?
I've got Graham and Peacock.
Yeah, I had Peacock and Morley. Gaz, what did you have?
I had Peacock in my back row, but I will put him in the prop. I'm happy with him either way though.
I mean, you could ideally
to bin James Graham off.
Well, you could ideally, lads. You could ideally.
Again, we've all got him on the bench or starting, so he's going to be on an impact player off the bench, isn't he?
Well, yeah, that we put Peacock at 12 or 11 or Morley at 11. Do you know what I mean? You could do that because ideally, I would stress to say Graham were in there, but
the things are with props. You 8-10, and then your subs are the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
You're still doing the same job. You're not warming the bench. You are going to be playing the same.
Yeah.
So that's not really. I'm not fussed with that one. I can live with that one.
I'm surprised I'm the only one that put Lee Gilmore.
Yeah, he's an underrated player. He does go under the radar, Abby. Although yesterday at the event, because he played, turned up, went straight to the bar and got a pint. I think he had 3 before he kicked off. So that's why he's not in man now. He's like, oh well, 2 for he's retired. He can enjoy himself, can't he? It's only a laugh.
Yeah, he can do it once, can't you, at this point?
Gilmore, he was quite pacey, considering his position, and I think that's why he was so versatile for Saints. Like, he was quite a utility player, wasn't he? Could he play centre as well?
Yeah. For the most part, those can play centre, can't they?
Yeah, well, yeah. I just thought it was quality, mate. I really did.
Oh, yeah, he did a lot for us.
Mm.
So you just can't pick them all, can you, fellas? Like we say
quite
often on the podcast, you just can't pick them all ultimately.
I think 13's the hardest, yeah.
Me, you've got Sinfield there, couldn't you? Sinfield, Sculthorpe, Farrell.
Jordan's face. Jordan's face. If you're listening on Spotify and not actually watching the video like you can on YouTube and other sources, Jordan's face is like an absolute. He's got his hands to his lips praying.
He's giving it
and
the
he's got a
Mr.
big
Burns.
grin on his face. So if we don't put Sinfield at 13, I think the CEO of the Two Yorkshire for a Saint podcast will what you call it, exit this podcast. So guys, I think we're gonna have to play ball here, mate, and I think we're gonna have to put Sinfield at 13. Unfortunately,
On one condition. Sculthorpe's on the bench.
We could put Paul. Start again. We could put Sculthorpe at 12.
He played.
You're
He was
moving it
mainly
around so
loose.
much
Or
now.
he played at standoff a little bit, but I don't know.
Excuse me.
To be fair,
This is where it gets hard now. This is where it gets very difficult, isn't it?
Well, I've had Sinfields on my bench, and I know a lot of people won't agree with that, but it is what it is, and we've all got different opinions. I mean, so I'm willing to put Sinfield at 13 just to save Jordan not sleeping tonight. So I'd like to think that he'd give us a favour back in terms of the bench, Gaz.
All right. That's just the only one he's
Right,
wanted, isn't he? Look at him. Bless him.
I'll take JJB out then.
Oh,
To be fair, JJB won't make my second Super League era squad.
He won.
Nah, not at all. I don't think he was a bad player. Don't get me wrong, and he won some trophies, but I think he was a beneficiary of being an absolute generational winning squad. I really do.
Yeah.
Do I need to go and
think,
put my Colin Morris match one referee shirt on for this now between you two?
Just get them boxing gloves out like you two did in semi-final and quarter-final. Sorry.
I remember he had a decent 2003 season. Obviously, 04 we won. But yeah, no, I agree. He was part of treble in 2015. It was one of those things where all players kind of shined, didn't they? Because whoever were part of that group, were kind of part of it. So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I mean, what I'm going to do now, fellas, I'll let you two select the bench because I played all my trump cards. So yeah, I think you two can fight over the 4 bench players.
Well, I think 14's got to be Burrow.
Yeah, I've already got him in there.
Yeah. It's what we're doing, isn't it? It's whether we're doing
What was our back rows, by the way?
Who's out with rowers?
Back rows. I've got 11 and 12 vacant at the moment.
Well, I got Gilmore and Ellis.
No, I mean for the combined one.
For the combined one, I think we agree. Ellis and what was the other one?
Sculthorpe.
Who did? Yeah, Skull. I had Ellis and Sculthorpe. I don't know about you two guys.
I had Peacock and Joint.
Oh, you didn't.
No, you put Peacock. You put Peacock in back row, didn't you?
Yeah, and I put him at
Who
10
did you have,
now.
Jordan?
Gilmore and Ellis.
So Ellis is.
I'll put Ellis in.
Yeah, Ellis is in, isn't he? And it's just whether it's Sculthorpe or whether. I mean,
I'll leave 12 free for now. See what we do with the bench.
Let it ponder.
Yeah.
You two fellas can make that 4 up on the bench then, because I'm pretty.
What do you do here though? Do you do? Obviously, we've got Burrow. Do you do 1 second row or 2 prop?
Yeah, Graham has to be in there on the bench at least.
Yeah. No, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I can say Graham on bench. So it'd be Peacock and Morley then.
Yeah, I've gone with that on
Peacock
the front rows.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Right. So we've got Burrow, Graham,
Fielden.
my new mate who spoke to yesterday.
Got Fielden. So we've got Burrow, Graham, Fielden.
It's all corrupt, this, isn't it? Everybody who gas sports yesterday sneaking the way into the dream team here.
Not necessarily. I was sat there with Leon Price as well.
I know.
I'm more fast of Lou again.
So you need one more player for the bench, fellas.
And then Me 12. Do you know what? Someone knows here.
So it was like the other night. This when I was looking at my squad, I was like, right, I'll put him in. Then 5 minutes later, I'm changing it. And another 5 minutes goes, no, I'll play him
Yeah.
at second row, even though he's a prop.
I'd throw
I
on
reckon we'll just make.
If you
I
if you're
had
not
Andy
watching
Farrell at
this,
loose.
it's just me thinking.
Is that what the pauses are?
Yeah, just
I,
thinking.
I can't believe nobody's back to me in terms of Sean O'Loughlin. For what he's done for Wigan and the
Yeah,
trophies that he's won.
but
I'm
when you've got the likes
absolutely.
of when you've got Sinfield and like Farrell and Sculthorpe, it is hard to put him in.
Oh yeah, it's difficult.
Listen,
And I
you're lucky
agree.
I've not
But
thrown Knowles into the situation.
he's not been playing. He's not been playing in Super League long enough.
Oh,
All
mate.
these have
He's
been playing
won 4 in a row,
10 years plus, haven't they?
In bloody 20 years' time, we'll have Mikey Lewis at bloody 6. Morgan Knowles will be 13. Simfield will be long gone. Jez Litton will replace Burrow. It'll be all completely different, won't it?
Yeah. So are we agreeing with that last bench spot then, fellas? Before we move on, we've still got a bit to get through, haven't we?
That's full four.
Yeah, all right, Sculthorpe bench, yeah.
We're gonna go with that, Gaz.
Yeah, and now we need our number 12. And you might be putting me sense out on here, but I'm going to go with Jordan Gilmore.
Gilmore.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Go on.
Like I say, there's no right and wrong, is there? They're all strong squads, regardless, aren't they? So
Oh, God, that could be anyone.
I'm gonna throw one in the area.
Go on.
Jake Connor. Jordan, he might
Surely
not be able
not.
to get in the England
Surely
squad,
not.
but at least he's in the sub. I'm only saying it for Jordan's purposes. He'll keep a smile on his face, won't it?
Right. I'll go into why I had Ratchford there. Provides covering the halves and at fullback.
Yeah.
And then Wellens, if need be, because he started off there, could go into the halves if need be or whatever. Maguire and Long can go. Well, Maguire can go anywhere he wants, really.
Yeah.
I've gone with like the versatility there with that.
That's what I did with Watkins.
Yeah, centre and back row.
In the back row, yeah. But yeah.
Right then, Carl, you can make the call on that one then. Ratchford or Watkins. He puts us on the spot quick enough, doesn't he? About time we stitched
Yeah,
him
but
up.
I won't have either of them in anywhere near Super League dream team. But that's just my opinion.
Who would you have?
If I'm picking out of them two, I'm probably going Watkins, to be honest.
Yeah.
Enough. 2 against 1. Yeah,
and it's one of them. I won't have either, but if I had to pick one,
it's one of those though as well,
Watkins.
An 18th man,
based on trophies and all that type of stuff and success, England caps, all that type of stuff.
18 man potentially going to play the game. You put someone shite in there just so you're not bothered.
That's why I said Jake Connor.
Good face on him.
Hey Jordan, I'm only joking, pal. I'm only joking.
We're going to ask you a question, Carl.
Another one.
We've done Super League Dream Team.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting on what you pick as an NRL All Stars.
Well, I mean, I'd need about 2 weeks. I'd need about 2 weeks to think, mate.
You know what? Even I'd enjoy doing that.
Yeah, well, maybe that's something to look at further down the track here.
Oh, like an Australian 13.
Yeah, that'd be decent.
I've got half it in my head already.
Yeah, piss all over ours.
Already, it's all going to be in my lifetime, or before. I mean, there's players from before my time, and it'd have been in this team if it was all time. That's Big Mal.
I know.
We're
talking. Yeah,
say that.
I was just about to say to you, he's probably my greatest player of all time, Mal Meninga, in terms of Australia anyway. and Roger
Joe,
Millwood
got
as
a funny story about him actually. Big Mal when he was over at Saints. My dad was sat in a pub with his mate, Big Mal, at the bar. My dad's mate goes, "Give you 20 quid if you go and smack him in the jaw." Dad, being a dickhead, goes over and says, "Mal, listen, my mate said he'll give me 20 quid if I smack you in the face." He went, "You can do it, but I'll give you one back." He went, "No, you're all right, mate." That was it. Went back and
keep the
sat down. I'm not
20.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, keep the 20 in
Right.
it. So
So for
I don't know.
confirmation,
So did
we've
yes,
got Paul
confirm it, then move
Wellens,
on.
Paul Wellens, Leslie Vanacolo, Jamie Lyon, Keith Senior, Ryan Hall, Danny Maguire, Sean Long, Adrian Morley, James Roby, Jamie Peacock, Gaz Ellis, Lee Gilmore, Kevin Sinfield, Rob Burrow, James Graham, Stu Field, and Paul Sculthorpe, and Callum Watkins.
Decent team.
Right.
Some squad that fellas, some squad.
Oh, aye.
Yeah. So like I say, if there's anybody listening who wants to, shout at us or applaud us and sort of get involved and get amongst it, like, comment, share, all that type of stuff, and we'll get some good feedback from everybody. So now we're all in agreement with that. We'll move on to next part of the podcast. It's partly Super League involvement. I don't know if you boys have been following the news in the last couple of weeks, but this R360 rugby competition that these American investors are trying to grow. Long story short is there's some American investors trying to build their own competition, and what they want to do is they want to sort of take it around the world, a bit like they do with the Grand Prix, where they have so many games in Barcelona, so many games in Brazil, all over the world, different stages. I mean, there's been a lot of tapping up going on in the NRL, and I believe there's also going to be a bit of that going on in Super League as well. So these private owners are obviously very, very cash rich, looking at trying to entice some of our top players away from our game. The same in the NRL. The latest and one of the first ones to go was Lomax from the Parramatta Eels. He's gone over today. He's signed a contract. Not really knowing too much about the competition format and sort of what time of the year it'll be, and it's a bit crazy really because the details are very, very vague. All they know and the rumours are that he's signed a deal for $3.5 million, which is a hell of a lot of money in terms of rugby. So these
Can I
people
just
are
say,
seriously.
Carl, sorry to interrupt, but I
Anyway,
don't have a lot to say about this, and what it is not positive, but I'll get out of the way. I think it's a joke, right? I think it's pathetic, and I am 100% agreement with the NRL saying if you go to that competition, you're banned from this for 10 years. In other words, unless you're a kid, you're not coming back. And
yeah,
I applaud that.
I'll just
Stand the
no. I
ground.
think excuse me. I think all of us can sort of agree with this because we want to see the game grow, but we don't want this happening, do we? Where we've spent years and years making our products in terms of NRL and Super League best they
Did
can
they,
possibly be, and then somebody comes and throws a load of money at it and takes offers.
did they not
Uh,
with football of the year for that Super Cup thing?
Yeah, like it sounds like European Super League, really, like a breakaway
Yeah, yeah,
competition.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, I
yeah,
know,
well,
I know
I think
Premier League that they were saying that basically if you sign this contract, then you'd be banned from Premier League sort of thing. So it's the
Yeah.
same sort of thing, isn't it? It's this breakaway league thing, like
there's lots of pros and cons to what they're trying to do. I mean, from an outsider looking in, I mean, the bigger picture is that some American owner is trying to throw millions and millions of dollars, pounds, whatever you want to call it, and just getting what they want in terms of this. I mean, we don't particularly want it to happen, but like I say, these whispers of Lomax, he's already signed a deal. There's a little bit of a something going on
Apparently
with
Ryan Papenhuyzen is supposed to be
Pappenhausen.
going as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So Ryan Pappenhausen sort of got around it in a way that he's told Melbourne that he don't want to play for Melbourne anymore, and he's going to have. And they've basically said, look, if you leave now, you don't come back into the competition, or you certainly don't go back to the NRL. So he's basically trying to retire from the NRL for a year, which will obviously cancel his contract out. And then the alleged, to go and sign for this R360 sort of league that they're trying to implement. I mean, it's one of them, like we keep saying, we don't want money to spoil sport, but ultimately, a lot of these players have a price, don't they? Rightly or wrongly, Jordan. I mean,
So it does
what do you
kind of make me
make of all
glad.
this?
It does make me glad that rugby league's so small in this country that they won't even touch it.
Mm.
Well, that's the
You
thing.
know yourself. Sorry,
That's
fellas. You know yourself. Eventually, they'll start coming over here, and there's a lot of rumours at the minute circulating that we're looking at a lot of rugby union players as well over here. So it'll only be a matter of time before this, I know maybe a Mikey Lewis or a Robertson from St Helens might catch one of these, people's eye, and we don't want that, do we? Because we've built the game over a lot of years. We don't just want money to talk and come and take us best players, because ultimately our quality of our product would go down.
I think the thing is with that, um, and probably all of us will agree. To be fair, I don't think they'll touch us because when you just said then about is it Lomax signed the 3 million deal? Obviously, we know we don't even get to touch anything like that with us. If Cleary went and signed for him, he'd be looking at that sort of deal. Cleary probably won't come to Super League because the pay's not the same. So for me, Mikey Lewis is either going to NRL or he's staying in Super League. So I wouldn't see him coming in and taking any of our stars because NRL is just full of stars, full of people that are, you know what I mean. There's people in NRL that might be coming back into the career. That might be a move for them. You know what I mean? Like say with Hargreaves when he comes to Super League, uh, say if he wanted to sign for OKR, he could have done that and signed in that competition, got a paycheck and being like, right, I'll play a year in that competition and then be done. But I don't think they touch us. I'm not too stressed about it, if I'm being honest.
No, I mean, I don't think it'll be until there's some structure in place, and obviously there's some basic ground rules to follow that structure. I mean, they'll probably just cherry picking a player here and there, won't they? And I'd imagine a lot of it will be from rugby union.
Yeah.
If you believe what you read, I mean, this private investor, they haven't even got any TV sort of broadcasting rights or anything like that yet, but it's obviously something to watch in it because we, like you say, we don't want our product being affected by it, that type of thing. So I mean, as much as, like I keep saying, we want money in the game and all that, we don't want the money at our
Yeah,
expense, do
don't.
we? We just
It's
want to keep.
blood money, basically, innit?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get across to people listening. I mean, might be rattling on a little bit here, but
It's like we were
the only
saying then about we won't want it touching our, you know, league and stuff like that. Like you've got to think we've done Super League for what now? Is it 20 years, 22 years, something like that?
30
And
years
we
now.
still, yeah, we still nowhere near where we want to be, really. So, when you look at NRL, it's you're not gonna get any profit by taking players over here, in my opinion. If you're signing players for 3 million contracts, like yeah, if someone said to Mikey Lewis, "All right, it's 4 million," mate, he probably would go. To be fair, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? But I don't think it's all. It's a different league, isn't it? And these investors know that it's got to be NRL based or rugby union based because it's not going to work by signing our players. The NRL is a bigger stage, isn't it? So if you're putting bloody posters on walls and stuff like that, you want Nathan Cleary to be like your main man, don't you? That'll bring Munster. That'll bring people on, won't it? I don't think signing people like I don't think Jez Litton is going to bring people in, not worldwide.
Things like if you put Nathan Clear on a poster in America, they're going to think it's a poster for an Adams Family film. I'm just saying, looks like Gomez Adams.
God. I bet if he signed for St Helens, he'd be the best looker in St Helens, though, wouldn't
No, the heck, he's not me.
With that jawline, yeah.
Well, I used to have a jawline. It's gone now.
he? Yeah, I mean, jokes aside, fellas. I mean, it might not take off like they want it to, but my only
I'll give
concern
it
with
5
that
years.
is this. Yeah, the only concern with this is sort of this day and age we live in now, everything's money driven, isn't it? And hopefully, not everybody's got a price because that's what tends to happen, doesn't it? I mean, especially in sport, we get a lot of that. So hopefully, it
No,
won't kick off.
it's probably a good thing that we are still on the radar as a competition. Do you know what I mean? Because if we were as big as NRL, then you know we might have something to worry about. But that's why I don't ever worry because you know
Yeah.
contracts the pay is completely different. They get paid like footballers' wages, don't they? So for me, it's you know what I mean. Our players get paid in pence. It's stupid wages, isn't it, in NRL? So for
Yeah.
me, I
And,
don't
and
think
what
that.
you said before, Jordan, as well, about there being no like star names over here. That's why Eddie Earl wouldn't touch us because he's got no
Yeah,
one to promote.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, he has now. He could promote him, Mikey Lewis or a Bevan French. You know what I mean? But at the time, there's no one.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah.
So they need a pin-up boy, don't they? Ultimately, yeah. I mean, I thought it was quite ironic that Pete Volandez come out and said you can't just come and take our players. You know, they come through the system, blah blah blah. And I thought it was quite ironic that it's all right. It's all right. Then RL coming to take our players, but nobody can
Yeah,
take their players. So it's ironic in terms of that. But the money that these American investors are on about throwing about is just it's going to be silly and beyond a joke. So we just hope that it doesn't spoil it or has an effect on our game. I think that's pretty much the last thing I'll say on that.
yeah,
We just don't want it to
Yeah.
affect us product, do we, in England?
yeah.
So,
No, Carl, I believe
uh,
you have an announcement from yourself, don't we?
oh, Jess, do you know what? There was that much on this week's pod. I mean, I nearly forgot about the most important bit of the night. So, yeah, next
Drum
week
roll.
we have a very special guest in our first player interview. Next week we have former Hull FC, Hull KR winger and centre, and now current Halifax Panthers skipper Ben Crooks. He'll be on the podcast. He'll be reminiscing for his career. We'll talk about where he started and where he looks to finish. So we're very excited to have Ben on, and hopefully he can tell us some great stories throughout his playing days and what's next sort of in his life after rugby. So yeah, that'll be next week's release. So please tune in. And between now and then, if anybody's got any questions for Ben in terms of what we've just spoke about in his career moving forward and sort of best players he's played with and any, sort of opinions you have or questions you have for him, please comment and we'll ask Ben when we're recording next week. So yeah, we're all three of us looking forward to that, fellas, I believe, and
Yeah,
hopefully
should
it'll
be a
be
good
a
one,
good
that.
good interview and a good watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, so all good.
looking forward to that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that about pretty much wraps things up then, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Yep.
Yep.
So thank you to everyone who's listening, supporting. Keep liking, sharing, commenting, anything you want to do. Even if you want to tell us that we're full of shit, just tell us anyway, and we'll take under consideration. We'll go, well, who's talking here, us or you, us? So be quiet. No, I'm joking. Yeah. So yeah, big thank you to our sponsor, Acorn Joinery Leeds, and remember the podcast is by the fans and for the fans. So we'll be back next week with Mr. Ben Crooks, and we'll see you then.